What it do, y'all? My name is Khalil McFarlene, and I'm here with the Very Much So podcast, showcasing the artistry and doing what we do as always, as we do so well. Very happy to be here.
Even now, like, this is actually one of my first paintings I'm making since the show, actually. Yeah, this is actually like the first, this is actually like the first like full like lead like painting I'm doing since my exhibit. So I haven't really painted in about 3 to 4 months. So yeah, shout out to you. So my process usually starts off with me just, starting off with thinking of an idea. That could like be me like physically like, all right, dedicating some time to think of an idea, or like something just coming to me when I'm on the go. So like for instance, be outside or something. Let's say I see a lady pushing her baby in a stroller. I see that and I'm like, oh, that could be a painting. I'm like, okay, how can I build off of that? What's interesting about this lady specifically? You know what I mean? So my process is it's not like a real overly like deep spiritual type of process, anything. I literally just paint what I see. I paint what I go through, what my loved ones, my comrades go through. You know what I mean? And then just go from there. Honestly, like I feel like I paint real shit. You know what I mean? I don't just paint for the aesthetics. I think everything that I paint, especially at this part of my my practice, it has to be. And I know intentional is a word that a lot of us use now, but like, I have to mean it. You know what I mean? The work has to stand for something. Can't just be painting some shit just to paint it. Like, it has to have real value, real wealth in it. You know what I mean? And not in a monetary type of aspect, but in how much it means, how much life is in it. You know what I mean? How much swag is in it. I feel like all those things play a part in how I choose and decide on what I want to paint. I'm very picky about what I want to paint. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't do sipping paints and shit no more. I don't like going to like painting events where we're just painting. Like, if I'm gonna paint something, it has to be like something that can go into a gallery or a show. Like, can't just be, a little mess around. Like, even this, like, I'm starting to get into it. So I'm starting to, fall in love with it every second that I continue to build onto it. I'm like, yeah, this is going to have to be something I'm going to have to, like, lock in on, you know what I mean? And not just paint for the sake of this, you know what I mean?
Any worries about talking and painting as you build it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm usually conversating when I'm painting if I'm not, like, smoking or, like, listening to music. Actually, Brian, he hosts events called Artmageddon. And it's basically, you heard of Versus? It's basically Versus, but between painters. You get like an hour to paint something, the crowd chooses the topic, and you battle against another painter. So I did that about 4 times. I'm a 3-time champ. That has helped me be able to adapt to painting while doing different things, or painting in front of a crowd or something like that. I would say the only challenge right here now is that I don't got that music. I mean, the music is what powers all of the work. You know what I mean? I can't do it without the music. So this is interesting. No, I'm okay, because I'm talking to you.
Oh my God. I want to take you out of your element.
Nah, you're not. You're not. And this is like, so also going back to creative processes, usually when I'm starting to paint, I'm just like fucking around. Is custom prohibited on your platform? Okay. I usually just start fucking around when I first start painting a piece. Even with this, I told you I was going to sketch it out first, but I didn't. A lot of times I just go straight into painting without sketching out things. My process is different every single painting. I don't got the same process for a single painting other than conceptual stage of, building an idea. But other than that, everything be differently. Like one day I may sketch out what I want to do, or I may do that with pencil or like pen or even charcoal. Or I may just go straight into it, painting it. I just do whatever interests me, honestly, when it comes down to starting things off. But one thing I will say painting as a whole has taught me is trusting in the process, staying the course. Like, I don't know what this is I do know what this is going to turn out like. And I have so much faith in knowing that it's going to turn out a certain way that even in this stage of what I'm doing right now, I'm just throwing color. I'm just throwing shit around. A lot of these colors are base colors, and they're not like the final iteration at all. You know what I mean? I got hella more layers to go. The very first like actual layering is done. You know, now it's time to like start actually going into this painting and you know what I mean, figuring things out.
Can you tell us? I'm sorry.
No, it's
We're
okay.
like all backwards. Can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely.
And what you do?
Yes. First of all, what's up, y'all? My name is Khalil, visual artist, painter from Baltimore. You know, I do a bunch of different things: filmography, cinematography, photography, all the graphies, even graffiti. You know what I mean? I do it all. Yeah. Actually, my mural is up over there. We can go over there. It's hella pissy in that alley. That's the only thing about it. Like, but other than that, yeah, we can definitely go down there and check it out. Yeah, you know, I do a bunch of different things. I'm looking to do a bunch of more different things. You know, even popping up today on Brittany's podcast is, you know, something that's new for me. So deeply grateful to her for, you know, inviting me, having me be a part of this, you know what I mean, and allowing, you know, not only me, but for my art to have a space to be celebrated in a sense. I'm always down for some good ass conversation. I'm always down to, you know, talk to somebody who I consider comrade. So once again, thank you for having me up in here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Being on the Very Much So podcast. You are going to be in our 4th season.
Yeah.
Which represents a new chapter for the podcast, and you will be my first interview ever on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm even more excited to see how this goes.
But you mentioned that you get inspired by people you may see on the street, women. I know one of my favorite works from you is the Mr. Make It Happen, and I love your Instagram and how you show the inspiration behind the painting. You also said that you didn't think it was necessarily anything spiritual or whatever about it, but
oh, that painting, it was definitely something spiritual about that one.
yeah. I was gonna say, isn't it like a certain spiritual and cultural in the sense of like the people you see when you walk around Baltimore?
Yeah, so I feel like when I mentioned that in the creative process, I was saying it more so like a lot of people's processes are just based on their spiritual beliefs or their own proximity to their, you know, like spiritual awakening or anything that is, you know, in that same type of column. I feel like for me, I am like collection of it all, you know what I mean? And the work is also, it's not just not like solely focused on that, you know what I mean, when it comes down to creating this type of work. So many different things, and even with Mr. Make It Happen, you know, that whole piece is depicting what it's like to have a relationship with a loved one who, you know, isn't here no more. They're still able to play a part in making sure things are going well for you in some type of sense. You know what I mean? Still looking out for you, and that's like the significance of Mr. Make It Happen. I feel like for me, because man, our ancestors watching. You know what I mean? And like we don't form these bonds with people just for them to leave and for that to be the end. You know what I mean? It never made sense missing that bond with their loved ones. You know, I wanted to show love to the people who are making it happen. Aunties, uncles, fathers, mothers. You know, a lot of times they don't receive that recognition. And yo, it was just from Baltimore. Like it was so hood. It was us. That's what I loved about that piece. You know what I mean? Like it was so us. You can go outside. You can look outside and see that. You know what I mean? So that's what made that piece so good. I always wanted that piece to be like the centerpiece for the show. So to see that it's getting the love that it's gotten, and you know will continue to get, is something I'm like so blessed for. I'm so blessed. You know what I mean? I'm so happy about, because that was the whole game plan. Today's supper was my third solo exhibition. And going back to earlier about how I told you that my first few exhibits was in here. So today's supper was the conclusion of a trilogy, which started with the recipe, which was here, and then it went to 3 servings of, which was also here, and you know today's supper, which was at the Hooper House. I feel like today's supper was the conclusion of it, not only because of like my artistic practice growing as a whole, but also with, you know, even the space it was at. Like I said, my first 2 exhibits was here. Solo exhibits was here. So for me to have a whole exhibit in a whole different space, a space where like it's emerging on the art scene, was beautiful to me. Like that was, for me to be the youngest artist to exhibit work in there, to be the first artist of the year, you know what I mean? It was just like the most beautiful thing ever. It was almost surreal. You know, living and breathing this type of lifestyle is something that it comes with a lot. You know what I mean? And with this work, the work that I'm doing, like it got to be seen, it got to be heard. What this type of work that's been done, it has to be seen in some shape or form. You know what I mean? And then, people gotta feel it, yo. People gotta feel me. I would say, starting off, I could say Raven Lene. I listen to a lot of Raven Lene. That's my girl, yo.
What's your favorite song by her?
My favorite song by her, I can give you my top favorite songs. You gotta fuck with her. This is your homework for the night. Deep in the World, Satellites, Lullaby, Blossom Dairy, Closer, Four Leaf Clover. It's so many. Mercury, Where I'm From. I love her a lot, yo. Like, I really love her. Who else been in my rotation? Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye been in my rotation as of late. To Keep You Satisfied. A lot of his songs start off in a very like majestic type of way. A lot of those artists from that time, like they were just, them niggas was ahead of their time, yo. And I know that's something that a lot of us just say. Yo, our ancestors, like they know what they was doing. You know what I mean? I reposted something earlier talking about how like we've always been in the future, if that makes sense. Like when it comes down to fashion, when it comes down to trends and stuff, like we always, the shit that we doing now, popularizing now, they was doing, you know what I mean, 30, 40 years ago. So it's like,
I gotta say, I am like so giddy on the inside watching you paint this, like kind of seeing it come together.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
So you know, this is actually a photo I took.
So that's why you're covering up your
Yeah, this is a photo I took. So I use references for all of my paintings. All the references be like a lot of times, most of the time, they're like references I made or, you know, I set up in some type of shape or form. One thing I've been doing a lot as of lately is painting my, you know, pictures that I took. But as of lately, I haven't been able to take many pictures because I've been just like lost creatively when it comes down to taking pictures. So I was like, okay, how about I start taking pictures of my paintings? Like the paintings that I made, how about I just start reenacting them in real life? For instance, I'll get a long shirt. You know what I mean? That's the one with the two masks. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I love that one.
That wasn't an actual reference. Like that was like references I put together. So I was the one with the ski mask on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's my tattoos on there, and that was me in the ski mask too. That's a real picture I took when I was in Cuba last year. I be the references for all my paintings. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't wear it like wearing it. Like I just had it like a beanie. Yeah, like I didn't have a haircut when I was out there, so I was really thugging. So we got our first 2 layers down. Nowhere near done. You know what I mean? I'm about to go back in. And mind you, I'm an acrylic and oil painter. Right now, I'm just going in with straight acrylic just to build things up and see where we go from there. It's a transitional season as a whole. You know what I mean? Like even you doing this today, you know what I mean? Starting back up with, you know, the daily content and stuff like that. Like, it's all a transition. You coming out here to the city, you know what I mean? Same with the city heading on, you know, but you not been from here. It's all a transition. It's all the same thing. So, you know, I think
I went to Towson and I lived in Brooklyn Park for a little bit.
Okay. Now that's the trenches.
I know. I'm like Cherry Hills down the street, so.
Yeah, that's the trenches.
What's something about the artist journey that surprises you?
How much gatekeeping and stuff is involved in it, I would say. That's all entertainment industries, you know what I mean, in some sense. Like I said earlier, like it's all part of the game. You know what I mean? It's all part of it. Even now, like I didn't get accepted into a scout out fair, which is crazy in my standards. But you know, I'm not, you gotta find ways to adapt. You know what I mean? To reinvent yourself always. You know what I mean? Because if not, they won't forget. Me not getting in there, and there's gonna be people in my comments. I posted me not getting in there because like I'm showing niggas like, all right, cool, like yeah, I'm very transparent with it. I'm not blown about it at all. It's niggas in my comments like, yeah, bro, you'll get them next year, Tiger. Then I'm like, yo, like I'm not upset about it at all. I'm just posting it so the niggas who did skip over me can see it and then be like, okay, like. Because that only gives me more fire to throw on another exhibit. All these exhibits I've been throwing on because I know that nobody was going to give me the opportunity to be put on. So I'm just doing these exhibits off the strength of like, all right, no one else going to give me the opportunity, nigga. I'm going to go get my own opportunity. Absolutely. Like we supposed to be doing. Like we all supposed to be doing. Building our own tables. I've never been scared to show the work. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's the whole point of it. Like, I can't just keep talking my shit in the house. I need somebody else to talk some shit with me about it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like I I live for that confirmation, you know what I mean, and not from others on a daily tip, but you know what I mean, when it comes down to this work, like I put a lot of work into this work.
How do you typically process or live with rejection? I know it's like fuel to the fire, but when you initially see those emails or those no's,
I'm like, damn, yo. And I get right back to work. You know what I mean? Literally, because like I said, it's all part of it. If you're not, you know what I mean, equipped to deal with them type of things, then you're just not built for it. You know what I mean? I think that's as simply as that. Like, we all are living through this experience, and it's going to continue to be of slippery, slopey experience, you know what I mean, with this L's and this W's. So like I said, if you're not equipped to, you know what I mean, join the ride with the rest of us, then you're just not built for it. In the original picture, it looks like it's just a bunch of white and grays, but it's really not. And that's the main thing when it comes down to color, like, you know, building up color and stuff in the work when you're, you know what I mean, in order to, like, we're colorful people. We live a very colorful existence. You know what I mean? So you gotta show that in the work. You know, you can't just have 2, 3 colors and call it a day. No, like, and that's why I be saying, like, this, I know I'm nowhere near done. I know I'm not even thinking about being done right now because it's so much more color that has to go in here. And then, you know, another thing that I'm doing that's interesting is I'm using the same brush for a lot of the base coloring, you know, because once again, I want to get those values up in there. Off of why I'm still using the same brush and stuff is because I wanted to, it's like if you're using the same spoon constantly to eat different things in one day. You know what I mean? All that is accumulating, is all building up. So, you know, with this very first layer, once again, that's the main goal as of right now, is to let it build up. Let the beat build.
I love that comparison.
Yeah, let the beat build. Yeah.
Do you ever have a point where you may have to stop before you go into the next thing?
So I would say, yeah, it is times when you'll sulk over some shit. Like, damn, y'all, I really ain't get that. But I just think at this point in my hustle, like, I'm really just, I have had the access to put on my own activation. So, like, waiting for someone else to put me on is just something that I'm not, like, playing a part in anymore. So, like, you know what I mean? It's like when you know you got your own motion, it's like, you know,
The rejection is redirection.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? I got my own supply now. I'm the plug. But when it comes down to, like, needing a break and just taking a break from things, I think absolutely. Even now, like, this is actually one of my first paintings I'm making since the show, actually. Yeah, this is actually, like, the first, this is actually, like, the first, like, full, like, lead, like, painting I'm doing since my exhibit. So I haven't really painted in about 3 to 4 months. So yeah, shout out to you. Get me out there. I've really been taking a break from painting as a whole. You know, just dealing with exhibit stuff and logistics and things, but also just trying to get inspired again. But even what just happened with, you know what I mean, me getting that, you know, letter, like, now I really have to start painting because now I gotta have another show this year. I was thinking about, like, just being cool for the rest of the year, but now I gotta have another show. Literally. So now I gotta make some paintings for that. Make a bunch of new work for that, you know what I mean? See where it takes us.
I love that. So it's purposeful at the end of the day.
Always.
Even if it doesn't feel good.
Gotta be. You know what I mean? It's just like a toxic relationship. It was purposeful, you know what I mean? For the time being, it was purposeful. And at this part, you know what I mean? Because I learned what I needed to learn, you know what I mean? And beforehand, I obviously didn't know what I knew now, so it all comes together, always. I'm gonna start getting into these hands because I don't like how they looking.
And how old are you?
I'm 22.
How old were you when you first started painting?
I was 18 when I first started painting. Yeah. When I first, like, I was always someone who could draw, but I was never like a full-blown painter, I would say. Yeah, I was never that. I always would just draw and, like, color. My mentor, who was just here, he was my art teacher at my high school. And his class was like just the class where everybody, all the delinquents and shit, we would all just go to his class because he was a cool teacher. And we would just kick it in his class and shit. All the kids, who was in the art class or whatever, did all the art shit, started hanging in his class too. And then we all just started painting on the art wall, this mural, high school mural. We all just started painting on it. And then we wound up forming our first collective, which was called Creative Expressions. And we started touring around the city, having our exhibits. And yeah, that was my first taste of the art world here in Baltimore. Beforehand, I was not aware of artists here, shit like that. I was aware of graffiti, and even then, with the graffiti, I was not paying attention to it. I would just see it and just keep it pushing. But those experiences really helped guide me into a direction that I am now, because it gave me the experience to not only exhibit my work, learn the ins and outs of the game a little bit. Learn the ins and outs of the politics of the city, how things work in this city. And this being inside the arts has allowed for me to expand my radical consciousness. And I've met so many loving people through the arts. If it wasn't for the arts, I don't know what I would be doing right now. I would probably be somewhere in college, doing college shit. Even Micah. Micah was a place I wanted to go to. And I know, you can definitely still pursue these things in college. But I just think for me, if it wasn't for my experience in the 12th grade, I wouldn't have pursued no shit like that. I would have just, I don't know. I really don't know what the hell I would have went to school for. I had took a gap year, if that's what they called it, from school once I graduated. Just worked and shit. But during that time, I was making paintings and stuff still. So I really can't say what I would be doing if it wasn't for this. Because this is this shit genuinely saved me. Especially from the shit I was doing in high school at the time, which we won't elaborate on, but
you said we're gonna elaborate on?
I said which we won't elaborate on.
Oh.
Yeah. I was kicking it though. I was just a class clown ass nigga. But.
That's a crazy concept to think about. If you hadn't had that teacher, if you hadn't participated in that thing, life would have been different.
Literally. Quite literally. Life would be overly different. Shout out Brick, yo. He gave me the keys to it. Brick has, he introduced me to Brian down here. I've been able to meet so many people, yo, through the arts. I've been able to meet you through the arts. You know what I mean? So my whole lifestyle, and that's why I go so hard for this shit, because it has genuinely changed everything. You know what I mean? All that shit, all the politics I be talking about. You know what I mean? Whether that's in person, whether you catch me in traffic, or if that's online, that shit come from the arts. You know what I mean? I was like this way beforehand, but I'm in an elevated space now. Behind very much so.
The reasoning?
As far as name wise.
It's a colloquialism. Very much so.
Very much so, yeah.
Very much painting, very much relaxed, very
Yeah.
much outside. Doing something to the nth degree. Giving your all type thing.
Yeah.
Casually.
Very much so.
If you could use very much so in a sentence, if you're what would you say?
I'm that nigga, very much so. But I think what I love about the title "Very Much So" is that it's reaffirming. Very much so reaffirming. It's very much so reaffirming. Y'all niggas know what's up. I know what's up. So it's very much so.
What's your favorite Baltimore food staple?
So many. But if I had to just choose, it would just be some chicken box, some crabs. You know what I mean? You can never go wrong with it. Yeah, I love me a chicken box, some crabs.
Are there any crab spots that stay open late? I kind of want some crabs.
Yeah, depending on. What's your moves tonight? What you about to get into tonight? Because you keep on talking about tonight.
Well, I gotta do it all when I'm up here.
Yeah.
Maybe an egg roll type thing.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to come outside tonight.
Drink collaboration.
Mine's?
With me. The drink collaboration with me.
My drink collaboration probably would be him.
For the camera. You can't pop in and just exit.
Hi, I'm Brian Robinson, the Black Man's Art Show located 106 North Utah, downtown Baltimore. Hang the art, where the art become the art. And that's Khalil.
I'm Khalil. What about you? What's your Baltimore food staple?
I love how you asking me questions because we asking.
Oh yeah, this is a conversation. Yeah.
And I know that like when I get here, I can have different types of cuisine. Like I love Ni Hao, which is like Pan Asian.
Yeah.
I love like some of the Thai restaurants downtown.
I love the Thai restaurant. Okay. Oh, you may be outside then. My fault.
Crab egg roll.
My fault. I was not familiar with your game.
You know, very much outside.
Definitely very much outside. I would say as of right now, anywhere tropical, anywhere that, you know, black people are thriving, surviving at, yeah. Like somewhere down south for sure. I would love to go back to Cuba. I want to go down to Colombia, Brazil, West Africa, Liberia. I would love to go to Liberia. A few different spots.
Who's your favorite rapper?
It had to be J. Cole or Kendrick. Yeah, J. Cole or Kendrick. Is that too young of an answer? No. Okay. Yeah, if not either of those two, I would go probably Jay-Z. Yeah, I would have to go Jay-Z. My favorite Baltimore rappers right now are G Huncho. He an upcoming rapper. It's Yourself. I like him a lot too. No Tech. Yeah, like, you know, a bunch of the regular. No Luck Nah, he's somebody else I've been listening to. I'm hoping that the Baltimore rap scene and the art scene can like clash a little bit more. So I think even like what Carpet Company is doing, it's right on North Avenue. So like, you know, the visibility is something that is high. You know, obviously it's different flavors of black people. You know what I mean? When you come and sit and dissect it. And then, you know, it's only a certain type of black people embed themselves. I'm talking about in this city specifically in the art scene, you know, and like in the, you know, the rap scene, which is a lot more focused and centered around shit that's in the trenches. Like, it's just something that don't intertwine a lot. Trappers, you know what I mean, shit like that. Them niggas not around the artists and shit. You know what I mean? They just, you're not going to go to Coco's and see a trapping ass nigga. You know what I mean? Like, and if you do, then you know he's probably in alliance with someone who, you know, has something going on up there. But it's like there's a it's a disconnect to an extent. It's a disconnect. And like we come from the trenches. We know, we understand. Like a lot of our friends are still here, a lot of our family members still here, they still trenched out. So we still trenched out too, but it's like it's a disconnect still. Being in a house in the trenches and you the only motherfucker who can take pictures, you know what I mean, or the only motherfucker who got like some type of interest in animation or something like that. Or, you know what I mean, something nerdy. Like, niggas will be like, okay, that's cool, but it's like, they're not like really fucking with you off of that. That dynamic of growing up in a situation where you are the creative and like people in your household don't resonate with it. And it's going back to that disconnect between the rap scene here and the art scene. It's like, niggas will show you love and fuck with you up the stream for what you bring to the table as a creative and as a person. But like when it comes down to like actually embedding themselves in those same spaces that you are taking up space in, niggas nowhere to be found. And that's the disconnect. Yeah, that's why something like Carpet Company will, you know what I mean, it will bridge that disconnect. It's on North Avenue, people want to see it, you know what I mean, a bunch of, you know, people from around the way, they're going to say, they're like, yo, I'm trying to come outside and see what's up with that. Why is that important? You know what I mean? Even being down here, like, you know, Brian's shop is right here, right next to Lexington Market. Like, and I told you, this is like the bridge between, you know, the classes to an extent. There's so many people who come through here every day asking what we got going on up in here, what he doing, you know what I mean? Can they come in? And a lot of people don't even be feeling like they are allowed to indulge in these spaces. So I think the type of drinks I gravitate to, period, I be telling people I like bad bitch drinks. You feel me? Like, I like me something that's Instagrammable. You know what I mean? Something that I could throw a little boomerang on. You know what I mean? Got a little bit of color in it. Like, I don't like no big hard up ass drink. You know what I mean? Or like, even with wine, like, I like me like a more sweeter wine. I don't like no dark ass wine that be having me choking. Yeah, some Moscato will work. You know what I mean? Moscato's cool. Or like some peach XXL or some shit like that. Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. I keep some XXL in the house. Y'all fuck with cut waters? Y'all like cut waters?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Cut words. You only need one.
What? You only need one. I think making oatmeal is just like making rice. Like you gotta like.
Rice can be tricky though.
That's the thing. Oatmeal can be real tricky too. You know what I mean? You could pour too much. You use water. I use water or milk. Yeah, I like using milk. Yeah. I never cook my shit in the microwave.
Always on the stove? You don't do the cup?
Always on the stove. I'll do cup of noodles, but regular noodles, like if you break them shits up still at this grown ass age, it's a problem. I gotta go to Kajikin. That's here. Kajikin. It's a place that's here. It's very good. They do like soupless like broth, which is oh my gosh.
How does it feel to pick back up the painting, taking a little break?
Same old, you know what I mean? I'm happy I'm able to get back into it.
Do you have a lot of like unfinished paintings that you maybe started and never came back to?
No. A lot of my work is like big scale projects kinda. So it's like I don't really have a lot of work to my standard of what, you know what I mean, a lot of work has been because like I'm just overly intentional about what I make. Like anything that I make now has to be a banger. Like, and not just in my eyes, but in the people's eyes. Like it can't. Everything that I make has to surpass what I made already. That's how I see things. Like it can't be mediocre. No, because I got certain places I want to go at, and I think those who are at the top, thought the same way in some shape or form. Which allowed them to get into those spaces. So it's like, ain't nobody else gonna do it if I don't do it. The longest to complete, like an intentional long to complete, or like it's just that I kept going into it type of thing.
What's the difference?
Like for instance, the one I got, the Nas one I had that was downstairs in Mama Coco's. That's one of the pieces. I started that piece like 3 years ago, but just finally finished it this year. Cause I kept adding to it. You know what I mean? It was done to me, but I kept on adding to it, and it finally got to where it's at now, which is, something crazy. Like I would have never thought it would have looked the way it looked now. The one with the ocean, that one took me like 2 weeks. I'll get a long shirt. I made that in about 2 days. It really just all depends on the amount of like technical ability that's going into it, I would say. Because something like this is small, and of course, like the amount of space I have to cover is a lot less, but it's technical. You know what I mean? I gotta get real technical with the colors. I gotta get real technical with how things look on here. You know what I mean? For it to be up to my standard. I think I learned that by just constantly working. Because at first, when you first start painting, or like people who don't really paint, they paint 2-3 layers or something, and then like they're done. But wanting more for my work, wanting more for myself is like, if I want to be in these same fields that the people I look up to, I gotta like up my game up. So I started just doing more research on how like to stack faint colors and how stacking colors get you certain type of look on your paintings and stuff like that. It allowed me to come into my style of painting and how I do things now, which is cool. But also living life. Listening to music and seeing how music is just one big layered composition. Those are the type of things I feel like help me get to this point I'm in now. So even right now, like I'm doing an example of it. So this part right here has always, up until this point, it's always been a light grayish with blue tones in it, right? So when I first started off, I started off with a very big white layer of it, just like it was just white. Then I went over it with a light gray. Then I went over it with a dark gray. And now I'm going over again with a light gray, but once again I added like a medium gray to it, and now I'm going over with this blue intertwined with this light gray to give it like a soulless type of gray. This whole composition is reminding me of the Ghost video that Michael Jackson made. You remember that? It was like, ooh, yeah, y'all remember that? Y'all remember that off the Michael Jackson game? Y'all never played the Michael Jackson game?
Oh, we?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, where was y'all at? Like, y'all are geeking. But if you look at the song, the video for the song, you're going to see what I'm talking about. It's a very, like, ghoulish type of vibe, you know what I mean? And I think that's what's going to go for this, like, color. But, so you see, it's just stacking of color. So I've added that, and, I'm going right back over it, not allowing it to give time to, like, fully dry, and going right back over it. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm gonna go back over that again with the blue. And mind you, like, I still haven't gotten serious with this paint yet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still just laying shit down. Like, I'm not serious yet with it. That's because I'm just building it up. I'm not serious with it yet because, first of all, these brushes I'm using aren't even the brushes I paint with. These are a bunch of brushes I found today because, like I told you, I haven't been painting in a while. So, like, and a large part of that is because I use, like, a lot of my resources for painting for my exhibit. So I don't have, like, a lot of the same brushes and stuff I use anymore. So these are just some brushes that Brian literally gave me. And it's allowing me to work. But people, like, draw, like, 4 or 5, they paint, like, 4 or 5 layers of their piece, then it'll be done. You know what I mean? Like, my 30th layer of paint be my first real layer of paint, if that makes sense. You know, and that's not me flexing any type of way or anything, but it's the truth. Like, I'm nowhere near where I'm supposed to be at. And I see that through my own artistic journey too. Like, I think I stand on a lot of the, you know, things I believe in when it comes down to my journey, because it's nowhere near done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm nowhere near where I'm supposed to, like, really be at. This is really just the beginning. You know what I mean? I'm gonna look back at this whole segment we're doing right now, you know, months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now. Like, damn, like, you know, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, being able to see how my belief system was, you know, which is now the present, but, you know, when I'm looking back, like, damn, like, my belief system was like that. And, you know, that belief system it got me into places like this. It got me into spaces where I met you. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, it's doing what it's supposed to do so far. Yeah. So, you know, it's funny because I was actually talking to this lady about this the other day, but about how beautiful it is to find out the role you have to play in the empowerment of the people as a whole. How exciting it is to finally learn that role. Like, yo, all right, like, when you really down for niggas and down for the cause, like, it's no problem being assigned a role. Because you're like, yo, this is my life work. My life work is to educate the people, you know what I mean, to learn more, to build bonds and experiences. That's all through the art. And once again, like, even down to, like, the aunties, the uncles, grandmas and shit who took care of us when we was younger. You know what I mean? That mutual aid aspect is something that means a lot to me because, you know, we gotta show up for our niggas, man. Just like how our ancestors and stuff, how they always done it. Like, think about, like, the neighborhood corner store lady, or, you know what I mean, like, the neighborhood grandma. Like, they don't got these assigned, you know what I mean, roles for no reason. You know, it's because, like, they're generally here to play that part in raising the next generation, raising the, you know, the little lambs. You know what I mean? While the world itself is burning. Shout out to them, yo. Absolutely. What about you? How do you feel like mentorship plays a part in your practices, if it does?
Honestly, I just got my first mentor as a creative last year. I was in, like, an art program, and so I do, like, podcasting. I'm also, you know, self-taught graphic design. Everything I do is marketing, and I never really had someone to, like, ask me the tough questions, lead me through, just kind of help me to sharpen my discernment and also think critically about my process. And even with her, like, I had sent a newsletter out last week or 2 weeks ago, and it was kind of done in a rush. Sometimes I'm just on myself, like, oh, I need to get, like, it's March, I need to get at least one newsletter done type thing. So I did it, and she emailed me back, like, the newsletter was pretty much about, like, a reading sequence for Black Women's History Month. Like, these are the 6 books that you should read. And I had only put, like, what each book was about, but I numbered it and everything. And she emailed me back and she was like, why should people read it in that order? And I was like, damn, true. So it's like, as soon as she sent me that, I, like, redid the entire newsletter, optimized it, essentially. And so I see the value of it as a mentee. And actually, this will be the first year that I'll have, like, interns myself. I'm doing it through, like, a Montgomery County initiative. So I'm kind of, like, on myself about what kind of leader do I want to be. I'm going to have, like, 3 different verticals: social events, event curation, and then podcasting. Like, they're going to be, like, learning from me.
Yeah.
And
So it's Easter Ray shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Insecure?
I love Insecure. I love Insecure. I definitely see, like, everything that she's doing, I'm like, hell yeah. Because I have an event. So I won a grant for my summer bucket list series. Okay, I see the ghoulishness.
Mm-hmm.
I won a grant for my summer bucket list series.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And that's pretty much like putting on programming for Black women in the DMV, like floral arrangement classes, mixology classes, things like that. And so I have a really wide range. Previously, I've done it like as a team of one. So it's like, of course, I need the help, but now I'm like, I got to make sense of my process in order for it to help other people and help them learn type thing. So I'm being more critical of myself as I assume the role of a mentor in the next few weeks, months.
I'm hoping your mentor-mentee journey is something that sparks a new light in you as a whole. I've had a few mentors over the years. I think I don't even think you gotta like self-proclaim somebody to be a mentor for them to be a mentor. You know what I mean? Or them to hold any type of title over you. I think if you done shown me some type of love and I look up to you in some type of sense, then that make you a mentor to me.
Yeah. So it's not like a formal thing necessarily.
No, not for me at this point, because I shouldn't have to go to an institution. You know what I mean? To feel like this person is having some type of impact or influence. You know what I mean? For me. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we just once again, all these rules and stuff now that is like commercialized and stuff, like we've been doing this. You know what I mean? It's nothing new to us. You know what I mean? We all done had some type of, we all haven't had mentors, but we all done had some type of figure. Absolutely. I think what I'm doing now is me mentoring. Me having conversation with people constantly, providing a new perspective is me mentoring. And it's not saying like my perspective is like almighty or whatever, but I don't think people would gravitate towards me if I didn't bring something to the table.
You definitely are very wise.
Thank you. Yeah, and I love, indulging myself in conversation, and that's why I was repeating to you, like, this ain't just me. We both in this together, so.
So do you consider yourself a conversationalist?
It's funny, because my homeboy told me a few weeks ago, he was like, yo, you a talking ass nigga. I was like, I don't know how to feel about that, yo. Like, what you mean?
You know how you feel about it?
I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, what you mean? But
I know I'm a yapper.
yeah, I'm a yapper. I'm a talking ass nigga, yo. I like talking to people, especially when there's some shit that's very, really interesting me.
What's one topic that you can talk for like?
Black radicalism.
Period.
Black radicalism. Blackness. Black movies. You know what I mean?
How does that show up in your art, blackness? Talk to me. Mic drop.
You know what I mean? Like, this is all it is. You know what I mean? This is all I do. All I do is this black shit. All I do is talk that black politic. You know what I mean? Be that black politic. I'm surrounded by that shit every day. You know what I mean? I live in the blackest city in the world. So it's like, hey, you know what I mean? For that shit not to show up in my work now would be crazy. This is like now in the times we living in now. If your work ain't political, if your creative work ain't political, what are you doing? It has no type of real substance to me. Because it's like, our livelihoods are dictated by politics. And when people think about politics, they just think about niggas in suits. Politics rule over everything, quite literally. So, literally. Like, I gotta emphasize how much politics play a part in our livelihoods. So, like, if it's not, political in some shape or form, what are you doing? That's how I feel about it. And even I tell people always ask me, you ask me, they like, how you doing? Politics as usual. You know what I mean? When I say that, I don't mean, oh, it's niggas in suits in Congress yelling at each other, usual, like on the usual. I'm talking about the same shit that's happening today was happening yesterday. Same shit, different day. You know what I mean? The same shit I'm doing right now, I was doing the other day. You know what I mean? Talking this black politics, showing up authentically black. Been happy that I'm showing up authentically black. You know what I mean? Like, this it's nothing new. None of it is nothing new. You know what I mean? Ancestors and shit was doing the same thing I'm doing now. You know what I mean? Just in a different fashion. We just all bringing our own things to it, our own little swags to it. So, Black radicalism. I could talk about that all day. If we was to sit and talk about that, we would have to pause this podcast. Real shit. Yeah, don't let me go to a bar with y'all, cause
A barbershop?
I said don't let me go to a bar with y'all, cause I get the drink up in me. That's all we gonna be talking about.
We talk about black radicalism. You gonna give us a lecture?
Absolutely. That's what I do. That's what I'm here for. That's the role I'm supposed to play. Like I said, like once you find your role, you come to accept it. And a lot of people, you know, they play bent when they get their role. They act like they really down. You know what I mean, to be part of their role when they not. It's like that's been my main thing. Like, it's just who's really down for this shit. You know what I mean? Because we getting to a point to where it's too much pump faking, and that pump faking leads to more diversion against the group. You know, so we can't do no more of that, unfortunately.
Speaking of blackness, when I saw your work for the first time, one thing that really captivated me was the level of sweetness, I would say, that you all
I will love you anyway.
a reverence that you hold.
That just came to my mind when you said sweetness. That was a sweet thing. Even though you cannot. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sweetness to how you portray kids in your work and like all the parts of the family, from the mom and the dad down to the daughter. Even like the painting of your brother, like in the backseat of the car with like headphones on. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about, I guess, that level of intimacy that shows up in your art when it comes to blackness?
Yeah, I think it's just again showcasing what's real, showcasing what we already are accustomed to. I think even down to how I specifically displayed black women, you know, in that exhibit. Like, you know, how could you not love black women? How can you not have a certain type of ascended love for black women? You know what I mean? This type of love for black women gotta transcend this plane of existence. You know what I mean? I feel like if you don't got that, you know, or not in the space to where you're attempting to get to that, you know, you got some homework to do. And even me, I got a lot of more homework I gotta do. Even though I've become aware of how black women are positioned in my head, and just like how, you know, conditioning and things of that nature play a part in how we as black men have shown up for black women. Having an understanding of life itself. Going outside. Go outside these doors and just observing, you know what I mean? Seeing, you know, what's up. These are the things that like give you that. It's confirmation. Like all of this is confirmation. Like I know, and that's why I pop my shit like I do, because I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I know what I'm talking about because that shit lives through the music. Let's talk about like Mary J. Blige. Let's talk about like early Mary J. Like, you know, that one piece you mentioned with my younger brother. You know, one of the albums I had on it was what's the 411. You know what I mean? And like that album for me, the reason why I put that album specifically was because of how she displayed a cultural richness that was very like 90s coded. You know, even it came out during that time, so it was different. You know what I mean? It was a different type of love for life, and you could hear that shit in the music. Real Love, Love No Limit. You know what I mean? Both of those are songs where you can feel the essence of life just flowing through the music. D'Angelo, prime example. You know what I mean? A nigga who loved the music too much. You know what I mean? You can hear that shit. You can hear that shit in the music and hear how much he loved it, how much he loved life. You know, and if he didn't have love for life, he had certainly an appreciation to some extent. So, you know, when you can feel those emotions, when you can feel that shit more deeper than just a song, you start to wonder how can you take a piece of the cake also. And I think through this art is my interpretation of it. I want to expand on my art in some shape or form. I don't know what as of right now, you know, whether that's music and production in some type of way one day, or like
The way you talk about music is giving producer.
I will wind up becoming a producer. I can see that. You gotta navigate. You gotta be able to navigate. You can't navigate that shit, then your ass gonna drown. I was thinking the other night, one thing I've been doing a lot is thinking about that relation we have to the water as a whole, as a people. And I was thinking about like life as a whole. It's like, damn, this shit really is just a ride on the ocean. You know what I mean? Like us just navigating that shit on a ship. You know what I mean? With no real type of, I guess the compass would be whoever you deem the most high. you know, give you that insight to keep it pushing, and you know, the boat of life. Amen to that. Kiss of life. I like gaining kisses of life. I think DC is a very good kiss of life. You know what I mean? It's a very good refresher outside of all the bullshit happening there.
Kiss of life.
Yeah, like the Sade song.
You better come with the lyrics and the references.
Yeah, yo, y'all better step up, yo. Step your game up. So I don't know if I like how big this arm is.
You typically self-correct when painting?
So I do that in a bunch of different ways. So for instance, for this painting, I didn't sketch it out. I just went straight into painting. So I understood I would be doing a lot of self-correcting with it because a lot of my proportions and stuff be off when I just go straight into painting. Also, like with doing a bunch of layers and shit, it also comes with you understanding that you will be doing a lot of self-correcting because, you know, like it's so many different layers of paint that's going in. I be using so many different layers of paint that I just be throwing in colors at times. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna just throw this color in and see what happens. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm nowhere near done. Like, even now, me drawing these signifying to myself that I'm like, all right, I'm probably like halfway through the painting. You know what I mean? Some shit like that. But like, truth be told, I'm not. I'm probably like, if we had to cut this painting up in fifths, I'm probably like 1.5. Because once again, all these colors in these arm sleeves, I didn't even start going in the color for the black, but all these different colors in the arm sleeves are just signifying where the color should be at for me until it's time to go back in with my oil and acrylic. And even now, like, I still don't like how this is, so we're gonna bring that down a little bit more. You know what I mean? So right now, I mean, I am going in with a little bit of oil right now, but mainly acrylic. But then also you be needing time to just sit and not paint. Like, I'm gonna wake up and look at this shit tomorrow, and I'll be like, oh damn, maybe I should have did this. You know, you need a new different eyes to look at shit. You know what I mean? Like even right now, like I'm looking at the painting. This is supposed to come up about right here, and then it's supposed to come down. So I had too much arm showing right there. So. But even another thing I love about those small corrections is that they be doing a lot when you correct them small. Like, even me covering up this part of the, you know, shirt and shit has, like, did a little bit of, like, you know, reconstructing on the whole thing. For instance, right, I'm about to go ahead with this dark shadow right here and bring it down. And then, you know, that's also going to bring, like, a new sense of flavor to the painting down here. It's all really a work in progress. And it teaches you that patience once again. I was someone who grew up not having a lot of patience, trying to learn, you know what I mean, how to have patience, whether that was like in intimate relationships or, you know, just on some regular shit. And I've been able to like gain some type of independence from not having patience by painting, I would say. It should have saved me in a lot of ways, for sure. I also have a lot of anxiety too. I deal with bad anxiety a lot, so this once again brings some type of peace.
How does your anxiety show up?
That's a good ass question. I feel like my anxiety just shows up through my actions a lot of times. If I'm like overly nervous about some shit, you know, I'm moving. One thing about it, I'm already a person who moves around a lot. I don't like staying stationary. I need to be doing something. So, you know, I'll start doing that, or like just start overreacting about things, just not keeping my cool. I think a lot of people consider me like an overly cool person, overly chill ass person. So, you know, when I'm not chill and shit, you know, I guess that can be a bit alarming. So this is actually a photograph I took of my old manager. Shout out to her. But this is during like one of the events we had at my job last year. I just took some pictures of her. She real fly gal. You know what I mean? She do what she do. And I feel like her image of like blackness is something that, you know, I really appreciate, because I feel like it's raw, divine. And not divine in the sense of just showing her being a black woman, but divine in the sense of her swag is like, especially in this picture, it's not of this plane of existence. It's like you see the whites, you're gonna see the adornment she had on her fingers. You know what I mean? It's very, Your Majesty. You know what I mean? It's very royal. It's accumulated. I keep using accumulated. That's been my word of the day. Accumulative experience. Something that we all have played a part in. Has allowed her to be effortlessly fly. You know what I mean? Her just being a collective stream of everyone else who has poured into her. You know, going back to Mary J. Blige earlier about how Mary J. Blige has had a certain type of swag, which drew me to that album specifically. You know, I get those same vibes here in this piece. My work be having to have, like, for me to, like, go out and do it, like, I like that camera. My work be needing to have, like, I'm not going to say need, but I be wanting my work to have underlying tones and I mean, you've seen it in my pieces for the show. All the pieces had some type of underlying tone or message in it. With this piece, like, this is kind of like a breath of fresh air because it's not no like underlying tone or like messaging behind it. You know what I mean? Other than just flyness on display. A certain type of swag that's on display. So even this is a bit different for me because I'm thinking about like, yo, how can I relate this and third? How can I bring this in? Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, some stuff is just fly, like you said. And like, I'll say getting me outside of that box is something that I appreciate. So once again, thank you for having me here. Yeah, this is like one of my first paintings I've done in a while where it's not, you know what I mean, 40 different meanings attached to it. But I'm loving the composition of it. And I'm loving, this is beautiful. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it already.
I love you loving your art.
Always. I'm gonna always be, you gotta be your biggest fan, you know what I mean? And it's hit different when you're your biggest fan, but other people could vouch for you being your biggest fan. You know, it's different when you're just, you know what I mean, you alright at what you do, you know what I mean? And niggas like, okay. You know, he's just someone who's loud about his work, but it's like, nah, I've been constantly telling people, yo, check the resume, yo. I ain't just start doing this. I've been here for a little while, and everything I'm saying is with extended layer of confidence because I've been there, I've done that. You know what I mean? I don't see nothing I'm saying is coming off as cocky or anything. I think a lot of people may see that, but you know, I think it just also comes down to like getting to know me and getting to understand the type of work I'm putting out and why it's so important to the society as a whole. And then you can see why I pop it the way I do because it's like this is the work they'll look back on, you know what I mean, telling the times. And this is the work which will speak the words for generations, you know what I mean, generations of people who, you know, don't know how to articulate those same words, but they can feel it. So, you know what I mean, I think as creators, content creators, you know what I mean, whatever you're doing, you know, you be a sacrificial lambs to some extent because to even put yourself out like that is very brave, you know what I mean? For me to put out my situation like that, what just happened on Instagram, like, I didn't want to put that out because it's like, damn, like, somebody came into my art studio and my house. So, you know, that's a different type of vulnerability to put out on the internet. It's stuff that comes with this, you know what I mean? Even the anxiety, like, you know, being in the public light and shit, like, so much stuff that comes with this while living in this troubled lifetime as a whole. So, you know, this goes back to what I was saying about earlier about navigating. You better know how to navigate that shit. Because if you don't, your ass gonna crash. On my mother.
I think of, y'all know that song, Ain't Nobody.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fresh and so clean. Black and white is like a symbol of like classiness, like upper echelon type of vibe. And then that, I feel like in the urban Black culture, that we all know what that is. Like when someone is like adjusting their coat or something, it's like I'm walking in here, like I'm Put that shit on. Miss,
Like,
put that shit on. It's like, and then especially in a time like today where it's, because when I came in Brittany, remember I was like, okay, this is like someone in a suit or, you know, some kind of dressed up type of outfit. I get like, we belong in these types of spaces. That's what I see from it.
Absolutely. And even some more context for you, like, you been to Mama Coco's yet?
I have not.
Okay.
We gotta go.
We gotta take it to.
Yeah.
But you'll see it. You know, that is a place where, you know, where this elevated lifestyle for us is, you know, on display. It's apparent. You know what I mean? You don't gotta feel like
you gotta be a certain type of way to take part in it. You know what I mean, nigga, this is what we do. The thing about it is that we, once again, there's nothing new to black people. We always been doing this. We always been fly. We are the originators of flyness. So like, shit like work. Once again, why I feel like I could say certain things and talk my issue about certain things, because it's like, this shit was instilled in me by my niggas, my loved ones. You know what I mean? My ancestors. So we're living our ancestors' wildest dreams, even being able to do shit we doing now. So if you're not gonna do what you can with that, then that's ultimately on you. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I'm doing something with it while I can. You know what I mean? So you can come look at the reference picture if you want to.
You know what's crazy? I was like, yo, I wonder if he's going to add rings. Okay, that's nice.
Thank you.
Look at that. Comes to life.
Yes, I usually just paint what I see. Like, so many colors in this shit. Like, so many fucking colors in this. So, you know, right now I'm just slowly just building it up. And even for other paintings, like, you know, their process is usually just gotta look. That's the main thing. Like, you gotta look. Like, y'all, both of y'all full of color. You know what I mean? Not even just on what clothes y'all got. I'm talking about skin tone. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, y'all are really giving like artists, because you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many colors. I'm like,
it is so many different colors.
What colors do you see? We know like white and black and brown and gold, but like.
So you got a bluish, purplish type of hue, gray. That's soulish type of gray. So it's not even like regular gray. You got light gray, you got dark gray, you got white, but you also got a very like lightish. Let me put this down. So you also got like a lightish gray right here, a very lightish white gray. It's not just fully white. Then you also got like lightish gray, then like spots of like a darker gray, lightish gray, purplish, bluish type of gray, purplish, darkish, bluish type of gray. You got like this whitish type of blue right here. Then, you know, you got the white right there, white highlights all through it. In her hands, you got dark brown, got very dark brown, a burgundy-ish, dark brown, orange brown, a light orange brown, a very light orange, with another like taupe type of color in there. And then, you know, the orange right here again. So then you got the pink in her fingernails, reddish, a maroonish type of red up in there too, with the gold. Like the gold isn't even just like gold, like it's whites, yellows in there, a little bit of green. Even here, like this is dark. Oh, and I love that you can see I think is that the pharaoh? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, or one of the queens. But even in the gold, like it's not just straight gold. It's brown, it's black, dark gold, a greenish type of gold to go into the middle of it. And you see like right here, for me to start the base off of it, I just threw a random color that resembles it, but not it as a whole. With the fingers, I gotta go back, like for this first thumb, I gotta go back in and I gotta add these red blemishes of color at the bottom of it. And then I gotta transition that up to this dark skin to make it be natural. And then the dark skin is gonna come down to right here. I gotta like add darkest brown right here, then like lighter brown, then it gotta be lighter brown. And then I gotta transition down to this finger. And in this finger, I gotta kind of fix it, put some more white and gray right here to make it a little bit more space right there. And then I gotta like put a line right here so that you can see that this finger is distinctive from this thumb. That's gonna come down, make all this dark right here, dark transition. Gotta throw the tattoo on there still too. So like that's what I mean by like this shit like genuinely not being nowhere near done. Cause it's just like, yeah, that's, you know, it's just literally just building it up. And then on top of that, like this is a full picture, but also I had to extend it a bit. You know what I mean? Because it ends off, the picture literally ends off right here. So like I had to extend it a bit. So all this is just me throwing color together, just seeing what's working the best. And even down here, like it ends off. So I got to figure out how exactly I would imagine these things to continue being. This is a button up. So, you know, this part, it has lines right here to where you can see that this part ends right here. So much shit I got to do with this thing. Yeah, so. But yeah, I am very satisfied with how it came out so far. This is Steph's kiss.
If someone has never been to Baltimore but viewed your work, what do you think they'll leave with?
They'll leave with feeling empowered. They'll leave with feeling that a certain type of ounce of blackness running through their veins. They'll love it even more. I would say being in this space, being in here, like you become aware of your love for these things. Because it's not like you don't already know, but you just become more aware of it. That specific moment, that specific time. You being present in this space is you acknowledging it. You know, like for instance, you see a painting of someone with some beautiful hair, some beautiful 4C hair. You gonna go home and be like, yo, like you gonna have some type of adoration for your 4C hair because you see how that 4C hair was depicted in some shape or form. So I think someone who isn't from here saying my work, they'll just, like I said, if you're really down, if you really say what you about, then you're going to resonate with it. If you really with us, I would say. That'd be the main thing, because this work ain't going to resonate with everybody. Everybody not going to be able to understand or be able to reference Mary J. Blige or something like that. You know what I mean? But we get to that point to where we're able to make it overly inclusive for the whole race of people, you know, for everyone. That's why, like, cultural traditions from our ancestors and stuff, you know, from traditions not of this continent and stuff like that, you know, being able to bridge those things, but allow for my audience to spread, you know, deeper, you know what I mean, my influence as a creative to spread deeper.
What to listen to and what to read.
Yeah, you know, because it's not just about, this work isn't just about the African American experience, it's about the black experience, you know what I mean, whether that's just here or whether that's, you know, in West Africa, East Africa somewhere, or in Cuba, you know, Brazil. This is about all of us, and all of us can relate to this certain type of flyness, I think. So, shout out this piece.
Any final thoughts?
No, I'm happy I painted today. Yo, like I haven't painted in a meanwhile.
I feel honored that you painted this on this platform.
I feel honored to be on this platform. You know, I feel like I treat my exhibits like albums, and like EPs. So like, I feel like the first 2 solo exhibits I had was like EPs. That last one I just had was my album, you know what I mean? I got signed by a label, which is a gallery and shit like that. You know what I mean? So like, all the like media and stuff I done put out, interviews or like vlogs or like, you know what I mean, shit I done put out after is just like my press tour, you know what I mean? So this is like the end of my press tour for this exhibit as a whole. I don't think I'll be doing any more press, you know, focused on Today's Supper with it officially being down. Today's Supper was up for 72 days.
Period. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, thank you. If y'all ain't find y'all moves yet, we're going to go get a drink together.